Hello students, you all must have understood the basics of working capital management, what working capital management is all about. So now we are moving ahead with working capital management itself. Today we'll be dealing with the determination of the financing mix of working capital management. So, one has to understand that one of the most important decisions involved in the management of working capital is how the current assets will be financed. One has to understand what is the right financing mix to finance the current assets. So basically financing mix is the choice of sources of financing of current assets. There are various sources available, so what is the right source in order to do the financing? So here we'll be talking about the two major sources which can be used for financing the current assets. These are short-term sources and long-term sources. So the short-term sources are also known as current liabilities, and these long-term borrowings generally, I mean, the long-term sources can be long-term borrowings, share capital, internally generated resources like retained earnings, and so on and so forth. Now we have to understand what is the right approach to determine the appropriate financing mix. There are various approaches available, so we need to understand what is the correct approach for our organization to determine the financing mix. So here we'll be studying three different approaches. These approaches are hedging approach, which is also known as matching approach. Second is the conservative approach, and third is basically the trade-off between these two approaches, wherein we'll be trying to understand that is there anything which is in between both the extremes of hedging as well as conservative approach. So that would come under the trade-off between the two approaches. So let's start with the hedging approach first. I'm sure you all must have heard the term hedging on and off. So basically, the meaning of the term hedging is it is basically an investment strategy which is used to reduce the risk. It involves transactions which are simultaneous in nature, but they are opposing to each other, so that the effect of one is likely to balance the effect of the other. So now we'll be talking about hedging approach with specific reference to the financing mix. So as I've already mentioned that hedging approach is also known as matching approach. So what exactly the matching approach is? It is basically the process of matching maturities of debt with the maturities of financial needs. That means it is the process of matching maturities of the debt and the financial need we have, the maturity of the financial needs. So we can say that this approach helps in financing decision to determine an appropriate financing mix, and therefore it is known as a matching approach, wherein we match the maturities of debt with the financial needs. So as per this approach, the one has to understand the nature of the asset to be financed. So the current assets can be broadly classified into two classes. One is which obviously fluctuates over time, and the other is which does not vary over a time. That means those which are required in a certain amount for a given level of operation, so hence they do not vary. And the other aspect which I have already told you about is those which fluctuate over time. So basically, the most important part of the hedging approach one needs to understand is that it suggests that long-term funds should be used to finance the fixed portion of the current assets requirement. See, you need to understand this. The long-term funds should be used to finance the fixed portion of the current assets. The current assets, the portion of the current asset which is fixed, should be financed through the long-term funds. So basically, before going ahead, we need to understand there are two components to it. One is permanent needs and the other is seasonal needs. So when I talk about permanent needs, so need means fixed needs, and seasonal needs means they are temporary requirements. They are seasonal in nature. They depend upon basically if there are any contingencies or any emergencies or any sudden requirement is there. So that is basically seasonal in nature. So the crux of the hedging approach or the matching approach is that permanent portion of funds required should be financed with long-term funds, and the seasonal portion should be financed with the short-term funds. That has to be understood very clearly. So as you can see, here we'll be trying to estimate the total fund requirements of the ABC Limited using the hedging approach, which I've already mentioned, which is what hedging approach suggests that the long-term funds should be used to finance the fixed portion of the current asset requirements, and the other portion would be done through the short-term funds. So as you can see in the table, we have taken months starting from January till December. Then the second column represents the total fund required, which you can see the entire, these figures are in rupees and in lakhs. So this is 8,500, 8,000, 7,500. All these amount represents lakhs. Then the third column is about permanent requirements, the fixed requirements which I was talking about. So it is 6,900 starting from January till December, because it is permanent requirement, it is fixed in nature. Then next is seasonal requirement. The column 4 represents that. Means it keeps on fluctuating as per the requirement in particular season. It is it is basically temporary in nature. It is not fixed in nature, which you can obviously see. In January the requirement was of 1,600. In February it became 1,100, 600, 100. In May there was no need of any kind of seasonal. There was no seasonal requirement at all. So the figure keeps on changing till December. So, so this approach divides the requirement of total funds into permanent and seasonal components, each being financed by a different sources, which has been illustrated here. So, as I've already mentioned, according to the hedging approach, the permanent portion of funds, which is represented by column number 3, it should be financed with long-term funds only. And the seasonal portion, which is represented by column 4, it should be financed with short-term funds. So with this approach, the short-term financing requirements, that means the current assets, would be just equal to the short-term financing available, that is the current liabilities. Okay, so this is how the hedging approach basically works, or the matching approach. Now next we'll be looking at is conservative approach. So a conservative approach basically suggests that the estimated requirement of total funds should be met from long-term sources, and the use of short-term funds should be restricted only to emergency situations. So this is just this basically contradicts the hedging theory, hedging approach. So the conservative approach says that the requirement of total funds should be met from long-term sources, and the use of short-term funds should only be restricted if in case there is some emergency situation, or there is any unexpected outflow of the funds. So it is mentioned here in the slide also. Conservative approach is basically a strategy by which the firm finances all fund requirements with long-term funds, and short terms will be used only for emergencies or unexpected outflows. So the table would remain the same, and we would now try to understand how that table would work on the conservative approach. So I would be showing you the table once again. So this was our previous table: months, total funds required, permanent requirements, and the seasonal requirements. So which is obviously clearly seen. The total requirements here, in case of this particular company, ABC Limited, the total requirement including the entire rupees 9,000 which is needed in October. I am talking specifically about October. You will understand why I am talking specifically about October. It will be financed by long-term sources. As per the conservative approach, the entire requirement, yani the total requirement including the entire 9,000 which is needed in October, will be financed by long-run sources. The short-term funds will be used only to meet the contingencies. So the amount which is given in the fourth column, that is the seasonal requirement, which is 2100. It represents the extent to which short-term financial needs are being financed, but by using the long-term funds. Okay, so that is the net working capital. Why I'm using the word net working capital? Because you must remember that in the last PPT I have told you that net working capital is that portion of the current assets which is financed with long-term funds. So here we are talking about that portion of the asset which is financed using the long-term funds. That is why we are using the word net working capital. So in October, the net working capital reaches the highest level, that is rupees 2100. So any long-term financing in excess of rupees 6900. 6900 is what? It is the permanent requirement. So any long-term financing in excess of 6900 in permanent financing, the need of the financing the needs of the company represents what? The net working capital. So 2100 is basically represents the net working capital. So now you can easily differentiate between hedging approach and the conservative approach. The conservative approach suggests that the estimated requirements of total funds should be met from the long-term sources, and the use of short-term funds should be restricted to only emergency situations. Wherein in the hedging approach, we have understood that basically the hedging approach suggests that long-term funds should be used to finance the fixed portion of the current asset requirements. So now what we'll be doing is we'll try to compare the hedging approach with the conservative approach in order to understand which approach is better, or is there any mid solution between both the approaches. So as you can see in this particular slide, which I've already mentioned, any long-term financing in excess of rupees 6900. 6900 is what? In permanent financing, the needs of the company represents the net working capital. So 2100 is the net working capital. So now we'll be comparing both the approaches, that is the hedging approach and the conservative approach. the comparison will be done keeping two things into two bases. One would be cost consideration and the other would be the risk consideration. So first we'll be talking about cost consideration. So here we are assuming the cost of short-term funds as 3% and long-term funds as 8%. So we have to understand this. The cost of these financing plans obviously have a bearing on the profitability of the enterprise. So we will just find out which plan is better, hedging plan or the conservative plan. So for that we have assumed that the cost of short-term funds is 3% and the long-term funds is 8%. So now first we'll try to find out the cost of short-term funds. So the cost of short-term funds would be found out by using average annual short-term loan, multiplying it by the interest rate. Average annual short-term loan multiplied by the interest rate. And how would you find out the average annual short-term loan? It is what? It is obviously the total of all the monthly seasonal requirements, which is divided by the number of months. So this is how you will reach to average annual short-term loan. So in this case, the average annual short-term loan is 11,600. The figure is in lakhs. What we have done is we have summed up the monthly seasonal requirements starting from January till December. So which is 11,600 and divided by the number of months, which is 12. So it is 966.67. The figure is in lakhs. Then the short-term cost is, the formula for the short-term cost is average annual short-term loan into the interest rate. So the average annual short-term loan we just found out was 966.67 lakhs and it will be multiplied by 3%, which is the rate of interest. So it becomes 29 lakhs. So short-term cost is rupees 966.67 lakhs into 3% rate of interest, which is rupees 29 lakhs. So that is what? It is the cost of short-term funds, short-term loan. Now we need to understand the cost of long-term funds. So the formula would remain the same, average annual long-term fund requirement into the annual interest rate. So the average annual long-term fund requirement is 6,900 lakhs, which can be clearly seen in the table, multiplied by the rate of interest, which is 8% given. So the answer is 552 lakhs. So that is the cost of long-term funds. Now we need to take out the total cost under the hedging plan. Total cost, how we can find the total cost? By adding the short-term cost with the long-term cost. So in this case, the short-term is rupees 29 lakhs and the long-term is rupees 552 lakhs. So by adding both, we get rupees 581 lakhs. So the total cost under hedging plan is rupees 581 lakh. Now we need to find out cost under the conservative plan to compare both the hedging plans and conservative plans and find the best among both of them. So cost of financing in conservative plan, under conservative plan, is equal to the cost of the long-term funds. Obviously, why? Because under conservative plan, the financing is done through long-term funds. Only in case of any emergency or contingency, short-term sources are used. So cost of financing under conservative plan is equal to cost of long-term funds. That is what? Annual average loan into the long-term rate of interest, which is already given, which is 8%. So annual average loan is rupees 9,000 into 0.08, that is 8% rate of interest, which after multiplying both of them, we get rupees 720 lakh. So now, as we can see that through the hedging plan, the total cost was 581 lakh, and under conservative plan, the total is 720 lakh. So thus we can clearly see that the cost of financing under conservative approach, which is rupees 722 lakh, is 720 lakh is higher than the cost under the hedging approach, which is rupees 581 lakh. So in this case, the conservative plan is more expensive as compared to the hedging approach. Now, we need to understand that why the conservative plan for financing is more expensive, because the available funds are not fully utilized during certain periods, and moreover, interest has to be paid for funds which are not actually needed. That is period when there is net working capital. So this was all about the cost consideration as a basis for comparing the hedging approach with the conservative approach. In the next PPTs or set of slides, we'll be taking the basis as risk consideration for comparison of the hedging approach and conservative approach, which will be followed by the need for working capital, determinants of the working capital, and the last topic which of this particular unit we'll be undertaking would be the computation of the working capital. Thank you for now. Bye.